soul he doth restore again, and me to walk doth make within the paths of righteousness, even for his own name's sake. Yea, though I walk through death's dark vale, yet will I fear no ill, for thou art with me, and thy rod and staff me comfort still. Goodness and mercy all my life shall surely follow me, and in God's house forevermore my dwelling place shall be.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. Stormy seas, I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you here and to those watching through live streaming. Welcome to you also. You are so very much part of the proceedings, and you are with us in one way or another. This is not the truth of the setting whatsoever. You mustn't imagine this as being the truth. The truth really is so many more people being here, the rest of your family for one thing, and also friends, neighbours, your family, friends, and a wider number where this place would be filled, where you'd be greeting each other outside, you'd be seeing people that you hadn't seen for years, you'd be struggling to remember some of their names, and people from the dim and distant. It's amazing who would turn up to be here for your mum. That's the truth of it. That really is the truth. And they are all offering their condolences to you as well, you know, and you're very much in their hearts and thoughts today. This is what we do at times like this. Ever since we were human, we've gathered in this kind of way, coming together, first and foremost coming together in a shared grief. We come together and there's something in us gathering together that's a real comfort to us and works for us humans. We see family, familiar faces, and just in that moment we're consoled. Sometimes we've only got to see them for tears to start flowing as we're affected. Just the love connection just affects us. It goes as deep as it can go to that place of grief and hurt, and we're just touched. So sometimes just to see each other is such a loving comfort. That's why this COVID virus is so inhumane for us, and for those who can't be here today, it's very difficult for them. We come together, we share some memories, we share reflections, happy times, and in that we're comforted and consoled. We remember so much. There's so many memories you'll have on occasions like this from the dim and distant, where some things that you have not remembered for decades will come back to you. And you think, where did that come from? I've not thought in that for 20, maybe even 30 years. And thoughts come back. Remembering times perhaps of Francis with John, husband of almost 60 years. Perhaps remembering or looking through the old photos and seeing her as a lass in Aberdeen with parents Wilhelmina and Alexander. Or with her and her siblings, Betty, David and Davine. And some of the stories that she told of her youth. We remember them today. We remember also her own children. And here we are for you, for Graham and Morag, for grandchildren Jody, David, Cherie, and down to great-grandchildren Rebecca, Hannah and Seth, in that loving relationship that they have. As we come, we want to celebrate Francis' life, but it's natural as we do that we shed a tear. And we can do both. Us humans are a peculiar animal. We can be laughing and celebrating someone's life with tears rolling down our faces at the same time. We can do both at the same time. We are peculiar. There have been various writings down through the years to express how we have felt at times like this, how we've coped, or those wonderful people who got us through. Some of these are our oldest writings. We call them sacred literature. They're so special to us. Others are more modern. Like this one speaks of a mother, something you'll be remembering on a day like today, especially hearing the Josh Groban song there, You Raise Me Up. So in that same vein, here's one entitled A Mother. A mother is one who understands the things you say and do, who always overlooks the faults and sees the best in you. A mother is one whose special love inspires you day by day, who fills your heart with gladness in her warm and thoughtful way. A mother is all these things and more, the greatest treasure known. The dearest mother in all the world is the one I call my own. Such a short but lovely Beautiful wee diamond of a reading. Frances, born in my part of the world. Born in Scotland. It's a lovely place to be born. Bit chilly. It's a bit chillier up where she was born, up in Aberdeen. Born in Aberdeen, a beautiful city, the Silver City, the Granite City it's known as, where I spent many, many years, studied there, and my 3 boys were born there. We have a long history there. She was born there in March 1934 to parents Alexander and Wilhelmina, a Petrie. She was one of 4 children to them, along with Betty, David, and Davine. I looked these schools up to see where they were, and I couldn't remember the names of them, but I remember the schools. They're still there. And I used to go past them. They weren't very far away from where we lived in Aberdeen. Commerce Street was the primary school she went to, aged 5. Starting there in 1939, an auspicious year for the world, that one. The start of the Second World War. She then attended Hanover Street School. That school was a bit closer to where we lived. In these years, everything in Europe and everything in Britain was rationed. Hard to imagine for us here. Everything, absolutely everything was rationed. Food, fuel, clothing, everything. Even things for a baby. And perhaps this was why she and others like her were always so thrifty, not just because she was Scottish, but why she was so thrifty all through her years and didn't throw anything away. Nothing was to be wasted, and that was the generation. They didn't. Things were made to last back then. They didn't have a 3 to 5 year lifespan. Something Graham found when caring for Mum was old food in the fridge that still couldn't be wasted, could never be thrown away despite its use-by date. Mum, come on. Also known as Frankie at times. I'm told she was accident-prone. She was one of them. I don't know if you know any people who are accident-prone. My wife's accident-prone. She's an embarrassment to go to the shops with. It's really embarrassing. Her knocking over mannequins and all sorts. It's so embarrassing. But these people who are accident-prone, Frankie was one of them. And this is a cracker. This is a British comedy, this story. You have to picture this. You all know this story. So you see it in your mind's eye. Just see this. And for those who don't know it, enjoy this story. Although it's a painful one, it's a bit of black humour. As a child, she was knocked down by a truck and broke her leg, and of course, and ankle. Not very funny really at all, is it? And then while attending a funeral, with a broken leg and in a wheelchair, a Clydesdale horse, that big horse, pulling a cart with a coffin, ran amok through the mourners. You're like, that can't happen. Everyone was getting out of the way of this big Clydesdale, but she was in her wheelchair. She couldn't get out of the way, and sure enough, the horse and cart ran her down and ran over her broken leg, smashing the plaster cast and breaking the leg in another place. That's a cracker. Isn't that a British comedy of a story? In those war years, a common thing, and I grew up seeing this, a common thing was removal of all the iron fences all around buildings, around schools and private properties. These were in order to send the metal off to the munitions factory to be melted down. So when I was a boy going to school and the likes, all the houses you'd go past, there was just these wee stumps of iron, or maybe down to the level of the wall, but you would see where the fences were. And I remember asking, well, where's the fence? It used to be here. They were all gone. I remember my mum telling me they were all taken away for the war. So Frankie remembers that. She even saw that being taken from her school. They've since been restored. From her childhood days, she always remembered those air raid sirens. Well, of course you would. And besides her terror, the upside for Frances was that it meant no school the following day. That's always a good thing. She attended school at Frederick Street Junior, Aberdeen, and then left at the age of 15, the school leaving age, if you could get that far. After leaving school, she had various jobs, quite a few jobs, working in a chemist, then a fish company for which Aberdeen was very well known, a plumber's office, a greengrocer where she cleaned the slicing machine, being accident prone. Yep, she sliced her finger and ended up in hospital once again. I then noted that she went to work in a machine tool company, and I thought to myself, what's coming next? That could go so very badly for someone who's accident prone. But she seemed to escape that one somehow or other. But in there, she met John Thow, whom she would marry. John used to pop into the office. I remember this being told to me from John's funeral. He used to pop into the office for a coffee and a chat, especially with Frankie. And we know what that kind of chat can lead to. It was that kind of chat. Coffee and a chat, indeed. So they were married in Aberdeen, 1957. It's been a journey of life for Frances, in more ways than one. It's a journey of life for us all. Leaving Scotland to head to foreign countries, heading way down to the foreign country of England, and then moving back to Glasgow. Maybe she got fright from being down there. Moved back to Glasgow, an altogether better part of Scotland for her to go to. Just saying. She then moved back to England, where she sang in a couple of bands, doing solo vocals. There was then the move to Bracknell. And I love that you put the addresses in here, because the addresses matter so much. If there are people back in England watching and remembering Frances, this will bring back memories. 13 Benbricky Street Green, and then to 7 Cotterell Close at Bracknell. Places that house so many memories. And then the big move, emigrating to Australia, 1964. A move that followed his parents and brothers, Jimmy and Cliff, to Australia. She lived in Annerley, Brisbane, up north there, before moving to Bundaberg, and then slowly moving down the coast to Sydney, 1966. 5 Wills Avenue, St Ives. Later that same year, 1966, making the dream come true here in Australia, coming here for a new life and a better life, building their own home. 110 Old Berowra Road, and there they lived for many years. John and Frankie, of course, also had a couple of years living further abroad, over in Brazil, 1977 to 79, while John was working there. At Hornsby, she worked as secretary at the Hornsby RSL, rugby league club, for those who are maybe watching from the UK and don't know. She loved this job, made many friends, and always had many memories of her time there. When they sold their house in Hornsby, they built their dream home in Medowie on an acreage before moving to Battle Bay. 24 Lady Penryn Close. For the next 5 years, Frankie looked after her young granddaughter, Jodie, which must have been a great job, one of the best jobs in the world, I'm sure she had. You lucky thing. Which kept her young and sprightly. Why, what were you doing? Well, anyway, you kept her young and sprightly, the family tell me. So you must have been on the move. She had various interests and hobbies down through the years. Her little white dogs. This place wouldn't be decorated properly, would it, if there weren't some reflection of her dogs. I know how much she loved her dogs. Her little white dogs, to whom she was devoted. Nikki, Kimby, Lucy, Susie, and Sandy. Sandy, who survives her. She made many friends with common interests, especially in the Battle Bay community. I can see she had a lovely outgoing nature and would make friends anywhere. And in all the jobs she had, she was clearly making friends as well. Family holidays, you'll remember these, spent in caravans, going to the likes of Bundaberg. Frankie and John loved going away in the caravan. And I'm glad we can mention that here, and you can hear of their life, love and joy, family, friends, travels, travelling this great land. Going away in a caravan is just one of the great joys in life in this country. And of course, taking the dogs with her. Favourite place? Southwest Rocks. After John passed back in 2013, it does get more difficult, and it got more difficult for her. She withdrew a wee bit from her social life. However, she had good friends, great neighbours, who always looked out for her. And I'm sure I may, on behalf of the family, thank all those neighbours who are watching today for all your loving help, support and friendship to Frankie and John down through the years. She enjoyed music, had many favourite artists. Of course, she was a singer in her youth. She enjoyed the classic voices of those like Celine Dion, John Denver, Michael Bolton. Devoted to her little doggies, in later years everyone at Battle Bay would recognise her. They would see this, I don't know, you're lucky calling her this, little old lady with her little white dogs, walking them twice a day, hail, rain or shine. Frances' greatest fear as she was getting older was to lose her independence. She was determined to stay in her house until the end. That's not always possible. And families sometimes go the extra mile just to make sure that it is possible, and you went the extra mile to make sure that it was possible. Well done, you. Difficult couple of years because of the diagnosis with Alzheimer's. Just made that bit more difficult then, but determination would get her through. Made of Aberdeen solid granite. You want to try and... Do you remember the old drills? I remember working in one of the buildings there, putting up a curtain, and all I had was a hand drill. Whole half a day to drill for one screw. And I remember the workman being in saying, you didn't do that by hand, did you? Tough as granite, your mum. Determined to get through and stay in her own place. And she did. She managed to get through, although perhaps Graham and Morag didn't get through unscathed. Great effort by you pair. And I have no doubt, as we're thanking neighbours and all the rest, I'm sure on behalf of the family I might say thank you to you pair. And from John as well. Thank you for looking after Mum, for looking after our neighbour, for looking after someone we all loved. On behalf of everyone then, thank you for doing that. Not everyone can do it. And in that, I love to say this. You have shown what love looks like. That's what love looks like. Right on that emotional note, timing couldn't be worse, Kenneth. On that emotional note, Graham, are you coming to share a wee story?
Yeah.
Come on then. Take this off.
Ah, good. Yeah. Terrible things. Yeah. I've just got a few little notes here. Just a few words on Mum. She was devoted to her family, and of course her two little dogs, or all her little dogs. Diagnosed with Alzheimer's about 1.5 years ago. Made things a little bit more difficult, but she was always determined. But her little dogs always came first. Never forgot them, never ever forgot them once. As I said, diagnosed with Alzheimer's. She had a difficult time, but it wasn't all bad. There were some funny moments amongst it. A story that comes to mind, probably 6-7 months ago, I was talking to her, as I did multiple times during the day, probably 8 to 10 times a day at that time. And she had a story. She told me that last night, Sandy, the little dog, came to her in the kitchen with his bowl in his hands and asked for more food. And I said, no, he didn't. She said, yes, he did. I swear he did. I said, no, he couldn't. I said, how could he? He's a dog. He's got paws. He hasn't got hands. He can't carry his bowl. And she stopped for a minute. Then she started to laugh. And then she said, what am I on about? But she thought it was very funny herself. So there were some fun times. So that's a little funny moment. But for Mum, I guess, Mum, she's your first friend. She's your best friend. She's your forever friend. And she's irreplaceable in our hearts forever. That's all I've got to say. Thank you.
That's all you need to say. It's perfect. To be able to say anything at a time like this is amazing. We're grateful to you. Everyone who heard your voice and saw your face will be grateful just for that. In our hearts forever. We stir up memories at times like this, as we've been doing. We do it deliberately, and as I'm doing it, I can see you wiping your eyes. You've got tears. We don't do it so that we bring tears. We do it so that we warm our hearts, but tears come. And those tears are just the loveliest tears. They are just so full of love, every single one of them. To stir up more memories then, to warm your hearts and maybe shed a few tears. Jealous of the angels, Donna Taggart, as we see something of Frances' life in picture. This will be a privilege, I'm quite sure.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying how do you do. They're really saying I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They're like much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful
Didn't know today would be our last, or that I'd have to say goodbye to you so fast. I'm so numb I can't feel anymore. I'm praying you just walk back through that door and tell me that I was only dreaming. You're not really gone as long as I believe. There will be another angel around the throne tonight. Your love lives on inside of me, and I will hold on tight. It's not my place to question, only God knows why. I'm just jealous of the angels around the throne tonight. Always made my troubles feel so small, and you were always there to catch me when I'd fall. In a world where heroes come and go, well, God just took the only one I know. So I'll hold you as close as I can, longing for the day when I your face again. But until then, God must need another angel around the throne tonight. Your love lives on inside of me, and I will hold on tight. It's not my place to question, only God knows why. I'm just jealous of the angels around the throne tonight, singing hallelujah. Just jealous of the angels around the throne tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for delving into your photo albums and sharing that lot with us. We're very grateful to you. Going back to the black and white ones as well, and she was a bonny lass. Dad was so distinguished looking. They were a really lovely couple. Dad was so distinguished looking with his moustache and at one stage his whiskers. And in all of that you can see that Francis had a good life. We can celebrate that then. We take a moment now, and a touching moment as you place your flower on the casket. It really is just a touching moment.
That I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow skies are dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Like lemon drops away above the chimney tops, that's where you'll find me.
It really is a touching moment, isn't it? The floral tribute, touching in various ways. We have the Lord's Prayer. If you would like to join in, you're welcome. If you'd rather just sit quietly, you're welcome. And the same applies to those watching through live streaming. If you want to join in, you're welcome to join in. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. I was thinking of all the travels, the happy times, the caravanning, and thought of this. This is a lovely reading just for that. A caravan heads off down the road. A caravan and driver head off down the road, and I stand watching till it fades on the horizon. Just then, someone at my side says it's gone, and she's gone. Gone where, though? Gone from my sight, that's all. The caravan and her driving are still just as large now as when I last saw them. They're diminishing in diminishing size, and total loss from my sight is in me, not in them. And just at that moment when someone at my side says, they've gone, she's gone, others are watching that self-same caravan come over their horizon, and other voices are taking up a glad shout. They're shouting, there it is, there they come, there she is, there she is. Is that what dying is? Just the horizon and the present limit of our sight. There she is. We come together, and just being together in this way and in the modern way of through live streaming, those with us, there's something so comforting. We come together to share the stories, the memories, the laughter, the fun, the life, the love. We also come together to farewell, and we've come to that moment now. We farewell. For this we always stand in honour and in tribute. If you're able, then would you please be upstanding? And the same for those watching through live streaming. If you're able, would you please be upstanding? Stand with us. Francis, you have run your race. You have crossed the finish line. You have completed your course. We farewell you with words of go in peace. Go in peace. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. We trust you in the arms of God till we meet again. And I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Go in peace. The greatest concern for Francis this day is that you would all go in peace. More concerned about you than for self, typical. That you would go in peace. How fitting then, this peace. A Celtic blessing from Scotland to you all. 5 lines in this, and you can feel each of the 5 lines. It's very essential. Deep peace of the shining star to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of warm, assuring, comforting love to you. Comforting love to you that you may leave here, even here, in peace. Go in peace. To the sound of the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards and Amazing Grace.